First morning. Well, it's kind of getting shrouded by the clouds now, but gonna be hiking up that way. Just got everything ready to go. Got Steve here, our guide.
Again.
Anything to say? You're the hunter this time.
Just got to get into harmony with nature and get settled in.
Yeah. It'll be a good challenge.
Oh yeah.
We're ready to go. Yeah, you can see a highway right there, so we just camped in the parking lot last night.
A little rough.
A little bit.
All right, we're 3 hours into the hike. Yep. We've accomplished step 1 up to this lake. And that mountain is step 2. Introducing Steve, guide, the man, carried my gun.
We're in it together.
Team effort.
You guys having fun yet?
Yeah.
Of course.
We made it. First leg of the hike. First leg of the hunt. Hiked from from the road about 9 a.m. to 12. Just stopped here at a mountain lake. It's pretty cool. Right now, I'm soaking my foot in this mountain lake because ever since my ankle surgery, my foot tends to swell up after I hike for a few hours. So just trying to get the swelling down. Took an Advil, but pretty cool. I have my rain gear here. A little ironic because I'm intentionally getting my foot wet, but there might be rain coming in, so I gotta watch out. So this is freezing, but it's good to do. And it's pretty cool up here. Pretty cool. Dad and Steve are back up there. We're gonna hang out and then maybe climb up that mountain. There's a tarp. There's Dad hanging out under the tarp. We've come to learn this is pretty standard. Whenever we stop, we'll stop for a while, set up a tarp, just in case there's rain, and there usually is. It's sprinkling a bit right now, and there's rain coming from that direction. Here you can see the road way down below us, and in the next shot we're just resting because both of us, and me definitely, were extremely tired and we needed a break before going up and over the top, over the shark fin. We came from way down there. There's a false summit there, so now we're hiking this and going down the backside. This shot really doesn't do it justice, but here we're crossing a knife's edge with 1,000-foot cliffs on each side. Hello. So since the last video clip that I took, we hiked to the top of that mountain that I was showing, then across this knife's edge that's mostly shrouded by clouds up to that point, which is being called the shark fin, and then down that ridgeline to where we are now. And the campsite, I believe, is just down around this lake.
Here we are, morning of day 2. We came up and over that mountain last night, down that way.
Yeah, can't see it right now.
Into camp. Ian getting himself some breakfast.
Yep.
We're a little sore and tired this morning, although we slept great. I took a muscle relaxer. That helped. But we're going to take it a little easier today. And we're headed down into that valley somewhere and then north, I think, curving left once we get down there. There's our tent. Yesterday was a brutal day. We got in here around 7 o'clock. We left at 9 a.m. And other than lunch, we were grinding it out the whole time.
Yeah, a few small breaks.
We had snow and wind when we came up over the top on a knife edge. That was interesting, but not as scary as the guide made it out to be, which was good. So we'll do a little glassing. I got to do some stretching. What do you say, Ian?
So we get to rest for a little bit, but it's fun. It's going well.
Yeah, here we are. It's lunchtime on day 2. There's my man. Hello, Steve. Loaded up the rest of the food. Steve and Justin did us a favor of hiking in here. Waiting for a little break in the rain to progress.
Just reached our day 2 campsite. This little saddle here, got the river down below us, mountains behind us. Kind of just waiting for the fog to let up, although we still have a couple days before the season starts. We came from way up that way, you cannot see.
It's morning, day 2. Day 2 hike was a lot easier than day 1.
Morning.
We've just wrapped up breakfast. And we're going to glass all of this. Steve. We got another knob here we can glass from. So that's the program this morning. Look for sheep. Today's the 9th. Tomorrow is opening day.
Just sitting by camp this morning. Nice clear morning. Doing some glassing to see if we can find any animals. So far, haven't seen any. There's Dad doing stretching. But hopefully, some sheep will start to show themselves. Otherwise, we'll probably have to hike a little more. It's about 2:15. Still just glassing. We've been up here just looking around, trying to find some sheep. Haven't seen any yet, although it is a great day. Pretty clear, and we're able to see a lot around us. Just there's no sheep yet. Anything to say?
Looking for sheep.
It is a good chance to dry our stuff out. It's a little warmer. Got my sleeping bag out and take a little break from all the hiking. But we'll hopefully we'll see some sheep soon.
So it's the morning of the 10th, opening day. We saw 21 ewes and lambs this morning. This is stretching rock. This is where you do half pigeon, stretch the quad, stretch the calves. We're packing up camp. We still got good weather this morning. I think we got some weather blowing in. That's what we've been glassing for a day. And we're heading up that way and around the corner in search of.
You guys having fun?
We're having fun. Yeah.
In the fog.
Sunday stroll. I guess it is Sunday, right?
It is a Sunday.
Stroll in the park. Big park. Quite the hike, huh?
Going up in a hurry. Came from down around the corner so far this morning. It's about noon, an opening day. Ram up and over the top.
The hike left is fine here. Crazy windy. Just came from up there, but importantly, Dad just spotted our second flock of sheep of the day up here. Mostly, it sounds like it's all ewes and lambs, no rams, but yeah, it's a good sign. We're seeing sheep. Up at the next lake, we encountered the same group of sheep again. Unfortunately, still no rams, but it's cool to see. We're probably going to camp here for the night. Evening of day 4, first day of hunting season. We're at our next campsite by a lake here. A lot of hiking today, and we saw probably the same group of lambs and ewes a couple times, but at least some sheep. About to choke down our freeze-dried dinners, get some food in. Anything else to say?
Hot Gatorade.
Yeah.
Whatever this stuff was.
Hot Gatorade is not the same as hot Tang. Alright. We'll check in later. Morning of day 5. We're kind of stuck right now. The fog, it's coming in and out, but it has us kind of socked in here. So we're just waiting to see before we can really do anything. Done some stretching this morning. But yeah, just kind of waiting for the weather to get a little better. So we're stuck in the tent since it's absolutely freezing and rainy and cold outside, and there's really nothing we can do right now. Let's talk for the people at home. Let's talk a little bit about the pack weight. So what do you think your pack weigh at the airport? And then we added some more.
Well, I trained at 64 pounds, and initially at the airport it was only 33. But pretty much I can tell you that by the time we were packed to come in with water and food and everything else, it was back up to, I'd say, 60.
Wow. I think mine was, I was training with, I started around 40, 50, but then I was training anywhere with like 75 to 105. Then, remember at home, I only had 60 with most of the food without the meals, and then also with all the clothing, so you can take some out for some of the clothing that I was just wearing. Well, what do you think?
Well, you added water, and
I added a lot of water.
And then you added more meals.
Yeah, but they were like half the meals because I already had a lot of food in there. So
70 anyhow, right? How did it feel?
yeah, probably 65, 70. Because there's a lot of water too. Especially on the first day, I carried a little too much. An extra platypus. Yeah.
So this is what we do. We do some
just
reading. We stay dry. You can hear the rain hitting the tent. And you wait for the weather to give you a break.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get a window soon where we can see some sheep, and then we'll be off again. But right now, just hanging out. We're peeking out from underneath the tent. It looks like there's some snow accumulating on the ground. It's getting pretty cold up here. Trying to keep the snow off the roofs here, make sure it doesn't collapse in.
All right, Monday afternoon. We're just getting out of the tent. It's about 4 o'clock. You can't see much of it now, but we had about a 3-inch snowstorm. So we had to hunker down. Sun is just coming out. So we're gonna go up on the hill and glass for the afternoon, what's left of it.
Just as we were about to get moving and go up the hill to spot some sheep, Dad actually spotted one on the ridge behind us here. So we just sat down for a while, set up the scopes, and took a look at it. Just a small, 2-year-old ram maybe, but cool to see. After that, we did some evening glassing above camp and actually met another hunter, an Alaska resident named Matt. And tomorrow we hike up the valley that's behind us in this picture. In the evening, we hiked up above camp to spot some sheep, but really because we were really restless from sitting in the tents all day.
Here comes Steve.
Well, we broke camp this morning and stopped here, not far away, to glass for a little while. Saw one little ram, but not much. So now, camp is back that way, by the way. But now we're moving again. Gonna glass the next little area. Got an eagle feather here. Apparently, though, you can't take it unless you're a Native American, so we will leave it be. Huge feather, though.
This is a good one.
We can hold tight. You guys can hold tight. I can run over there and just see what it looks like.
Dropping into Camp 4 here on day 6. And there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4 bear dens. We're gonna camp over there on that little granite knob with the grass on top. Got a nice little lake here. This is probably about as deep as we're gonna go. We're about 4 days hike from the trailhead at this point.
Right now, I'm on my way up and out of camp toward the lake here to go soak my feet. Beautiful spot, beautiful. Just gotta walk uphill a little bit. I have got my hood on still because these flies and mosquitoes are pretty brutal. You gotta be diligent out here. You kind of get used to the swarm after a while, but it's annoying. All right, here we are. Beautiful mountain lake. Well, here we are. Beautiful, crystal clear, blue, kind of aquamarine water. Got this mountain lake and this big bowl. Cliffs all around us. Snow up in the mountains even. Got my Crocs, electrolytes, jerky sitting on my pad. And I'm soaking both for good measure this time. It's probably okay. It's not a bad thing because they're definitely pretty dirty at this point. So like I would love a shower, but you know, we'll be back soon. So this is nice for now. Also got this bruise, pretty sizable bruise from where on the first day hit my shin against a rock. That was pretty brutal. Turned into a pretty good one, but it's starting, I think, to reduce down in size, and it's getting better.
Look at this spot though, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Private lake. This is our Camp 4. We're gonna poke around up in there tomorrow. We're gonna glass all of this tonight. Cross back there and there. There's a big sheep trail right on that little grassy knob right in front of us. It is a beautiful spot.
Now we're down the creek washing our socks off in the river, trying to give them a few more days. Well, we're all feeling pretty clean. We're all rinsed off in the lake / river, so now we're just looking for sheep again, glassing the mountains, and we'll be having dinner soon. Looks probably about 6, but yeah, just looking for sheep as always. Here we were just doing some evening glassing above camp before we went to bed. It's about 8:40 p.m. We have a few minutes of stretching before bed, and then we'll get ready to go to sleep so we can get an early start on those sheep in the morning. This is a small ram that Steve spotted early the next morning before Dad and I woke up. It's too small to be legal, but again, nice to see. Good morning. It is day 7, and we are packing up camp. Going to be heading up that way soon. Steve, early this morning, spotted a little ram up top, and we even saw a wolverine, which is pretty rare, running across right up here. But we'll be heading up these mountains, getting on top of this ridgeline in not too long, and then see if we see some sheep and kind of make our way back toward Camp 2 area. See y'all later. climbing up here. We've seen some sheep tracks. Even here we got a sheep bed there. Sheep bed up there. There's a lot of sign. This is good. Here, Steve is creeping up and over into the next bowl to try to spot any sheep that might be there.
Well, there weren't any sheep in here. But now we're gonna go up there, walk that whole spine ridge over to that peak, and then down over the back of that, starting to make our way towards home and hopefully seeing a sheep along the way.
Only a few yards away from this ptarmigan, they're not doing anything.
Mother Nature. Cool.
Pretty cool. Seems like it's the first time they've seen humans.
I feel
Shortly after this moment, I started to get vertigo. I lost my balance, the mountains were spinning, literally spinning when I was looking at them, and I developed a severe headache, and later that day I even started dry heaving. It was extremely difficult to even hike and get off the mountain because I couldn't even walk in a straight line, so footage will be pretty limited from here on out. On top of the world here. Camp 2 is below us, right down here. What a view. We eventually reached a safe spot at lower elevation where we camped for a couple days while I tried to get better. We were all puzzled by the sickness because I was used to high altitude and this was only 6,000 feet. I'd spent a bunch of time at 12,000, 14,000. Plus I was drinking a lot of water with 2 electrolyte packets per day. So it didn't seem like either altitude sickness or dehydration. During this time, I had to take it super slow. I lost my appetite and couldn't eat anything without dry heaving. I remember it being a huge accomplishment for me when I was able to eat a Hershey's bar. I just let the chocolate melt in my mouth square by square. Things did get better, but extremely slowly. While the nausea and headache improved somewhat, the balance never really did.
day 7 or 8, so I think it's the 14th. Looking down on camp there. Today's a rest day. Ian's recovering a bit today. We're just taking it easy. That's it.
Action photo while I'm trying to
get
read
a picture. Hold on, look at me real quick. One glass guy.
You can't make it up.
Oh my gosh.
After 2 nights at that campsite, we decided to start hiking out. My balance came back a little bit throughout the next couple days, but barely. We got actually pretty far and camped between our first and second campsites. The next day we hiked just a little further to reach campsite 1. It was mostly a rest day and we used it to get slightly closer to the trailhead.
Here we are, it's August 16th, about 11:30. It's a rain day today, so we're just staying in the tent. Ian is recovering from his illness,
Altitude sickness, maybe.
whatever it was. We're not quite sure, but it was 2.5, 3 days of pretty rough going. But he ate a full dinner last night and he's on the mend. Storing up our energy to go over the shark fin and out tomorrow. So hopefully getting to the trailhead Sunday evening and get back to Anchorage Lake tomorrow. The sheep have been pretty thin, but we also shifted gears to making sure Ian was healthy and safe. So that was the new priority, which Mom and Caitlin will learn about once we're home.
Yeah.
But we're careful to manage things safely.
Yep.
Anything else to add, Ian?
No. Yeah, just recovering.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
On day 11, we collectively decided to call rescue services and have me flown out via helicopter. I felt that I had pushed as hard as I could, and we had waited a long time for my sickness to improve. Yet my balance really was not getting better. And most importantly, I was not confident traversing the shark fin and its 1,000-foot cliffs. It would have been stupid if I had tried to go over it and fallen when I knew I could have just been flown out in the first place.
It's morning of Sunday the 17th. It's about day 11. Thankfully the sun is out and the wind isn't blowing. And we're just focused on getting Ian well and safely home. We're just taking status of things. Steve, the guide. Nice and peaceful right now. That's the way home up and over there in the shark fin. It's been an adventure. A little more adventure than the Ironman was anticipating, but we're getting there.
Especially in the wind. Little breeze going.
And Ian with the recovery pose.
Trying to stay standing.
Just
The two-legged upright pose.
Oh man.
Well, Ian, you're going to get a heck of a ride. Not that you wanted it.
Well, I feel like I got as far as I could.
Let me get my glasses.
Here's a ranger flying over us in a plane because he's trying to find a place for the helicopter to land.
So if you come around here, you should be able to hold the seat and the stretcher there, and you can, yep.
The hospital determined there was nothing too serious, but they also couldn't help me much. It took a few weeks, but the vertigo eventually subsided on its own without any treatment. My dad and Steve still had to hike out after the helicopter left. Luckily, the helicopter took all of my gear with me, so they didn't have to carry that out. They got back to the trailhead and drove the 4 hours back to Anchorage, and the master guide very kindly met me at the hospital and brought me to dinner in my hotel.
Steve and I are hiking our way out. Steve's doing a checkup with Greg.
Snot in my nose.
Snot in the nose.
Sweating like a banshee.
But we are both very relieved.
Very, very, very relieved.
Feels good to walk and get some of the juice out. Messages are going like crazy. So this is the shark fin. This is what we were discussing for days about being reluctant about Ian going up and over. So it's all rock fields. And then it's up that sharp spine and all the way across that spine to that other peak. So no fooling around here. So that's the shark fin. You can see how she drops down about 1,000 feet here from the edge of the trail.
Believe it or not, even though we didn't shoot any sheep and I got sick, I actually had a ton of fun on this trip. And now, I'll be even more prepared for my next adventure.